The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, and SNU baseball is back. It must be spring. Welcome everybody to SouthernNazareneAthletics.com for today's broadcast featuring the Southern Nazarene University Crimson Storm baseball team taking on the Henderson State Reddies today. In you with the booth today is John Hale. I got Tanner Stiles pushing me stats for today. Got a doubleheader coming up between the Storm and the Reddies. We had game one yesterday with the Reddies pulling away with a 10-8 victory, but they had to fight out of the Phelan Field complex to get it. As they scored they had 10 runs going into the bottom of the 8th inning, and then SNU stormed back, scoring all 8 of their runs in the 8th and 9th inning, the last 2 innings, but fell just short, 10-8 in Henderson's favor. Today, SNU is looking for that first GAC conference win here today at Phelan Field. So let's just go over some stats and just some starting lineups before we get ready to throw off our first pitch, which is coming your way in about 15 minutes. First for the Henderson State Reddies. Leading off is number 10 at shortstop, Brandon Pollock. He's a junior and he's averaging 25% batting and a slugging percentage of 29%. He's getting on base about 40% of the time, as he has 5 RBIs on the year and 28 appearances. No home runs so far, 7 hits. Following him in center field, number 42, right-handed batter Jordan Harris. He's also a junior, averaging 35%. At 17 appearances, he has 3 RBIs and 6 hits. 1 double so far with a 41% slugging average, and he's getting on base about 47% of the time. Coming in at the first base, number 22, Zach Gray, a senior with a 30% average. He's got 2 RBIs, 6 runs on 6 hits. The designate at left field, number 23, Taylor Langston. He's a junior at 29% average. He's averaging 44%. Zach Gray was actually averaging 53% on base percentage and 30% slugging average. Taylor Langston getting on base about 44% of the time. The designated hitter, number 5, Jackson Martin. He's a sophomore, hitting 31%. He's got 16 at-bats and 6 hits, 5 home runs, and 1 triple. So he's going to be the heavy hitter for the Reddies today. He's got 4 RBIs on the year so far. At right field, number 11, Dylan McCain. He's also a senior, hitting 23.5%. 1 run so far on 4 hits, 1 double. At third base, number 3, Joe Myers. He's a sophomore, hitting about 9%. Not really more of a defensive position for them. He's got 2 RBIs in the year and 5 hits. In center at catcher, number 25, Brenton Schwab. Schwab is hitting 22% on 18 at-bats. 1 run so far. He's at 4 home runs, though. Or, I'm sorry, 4 hits. Excuse me. 4 hits. And 5 RBIs on the year for him. And he's getting on base 30% of the time. 28% batting or slugging average. And finally, at the bottom of the order, number 26 at second base, Nolan Ryan. We have the Texas Ranger great here with us. Same name, different guy. He's hitting about 10.5%, 19 at-bats, 1 run, 2 hits, 5 RBIs so far. Slugging percentage, same as his average. He's getting on base about 17%. On the mound today for the Reddies is a right-handed pitcher, Chris Pretty, a junior with a 1.04 ERA. So he'll be leading off He'll be on the mound to start the afternoon for the Reddies. And now let's go over the starters for the Crimson Storm. Coming in at a record of 4-4, 0-1 in the Great American Conference. Leading off for the Crimson Storm today is number 5, the center fielder, Garrett Perez, a junior. He's hitting 28%, 14 runs so far on 7 hits. One double, one triple. No home runs. He had no RBIs. He's slugging about 40% and getting on base almost 50% of the time. He's sitting in at 49%. On second in the lineup, number 3, the third baseman, Cole Wagner. He's a senior, hitting 35%, 36%. 6 runs on 10 hits, 3 doubles, and 5 RBIs for him. And filling in the third place hole, number 19, the designated hitter for the Crimson Storm, and really the story of the young season, Austin Cooper. He's a senior, and he's averaging 50% on the dot with a 57% slugging average. He's got 15 hits so far in this young season, two doubles, and 6 RBIs. So the Crimson Storm are going to be counting on him to provide the offensive firepower. Coming in the fourth hole, number 2, the right fielder and a left-handed batter and thrower, Cole Lee. He's a freshman. He's hitting about 27% on 15 at-bats, 5 runs, 4 hits, and 1 RBI. And as I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, he is a freshman, and he's a product out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, out of Southmore High School. Coming up behind Lee is the shortstop, number 23, Tanner Maskey, also a freshman. He's hitting about 27%, 5 runs so far. 5 runs so far on 8 hits, 7 RBIs for Maskey. Maskey is trying to find his place of origin. Tanner Maskey is out of Springfield, Illinois, Red Lake College, so he's a transfer. Shelby Reese coming in at number 6, the number 4 second baseman. He's a junior, averaging about 35% on 5 runs, 9 hits, 2 doubles on the year, and 5 RBIs. Tanner Maskey is just backtracking here. Tanner Maskey is also the only starter so far to record a home run on the year. Filling in the 7th place, number 44, the first baseman, Joe Toilolo. He's a sophomore, and he's averaging just under 28%. 4 runs on the year, 5 hits, 3 doubles. In the 8th position, number 25, the catcher, Jake Vernon, a junior. Hitting 24% on the dot. 1 run so far on 6 hits, 2 doubles, 5 RBIs for Vernon. And finally, in the last position, number 22, the left fielder, Christian Dent, a junior, averaging 15%. He's got 2 runs on 2 hits so far this year. On the mound to start for the Crimson Storm today is number 29, Jefferson Harris. He's a right-hander junior. He's got a 3.68 earned run average. And that is going to do it for our pregame. First pitch about 9 minutes away. Keep it right here on SNUathletics.com. We'll be right back. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Just had the starting lineups announced by the PA to our audience here, and just had the starting lineups read off, and now we're getting some warm-ups put in here, and we're just about set for today's doubleheader between the Crimson Storm and the Henderson State Reddies. Jefferson Harris on the mound for you today. That's where he'll start out. The Crimson Storm coming in at 4-4, 0-1 in conference. That one loss coming yesterday to the Reddies. Reddies got their one conference win against the Crimson Storm yesterday. They check in at 4-3 on the year. It's a pretty day so far here in Bethany today at Field and Field, the Cypress Athletic Complex. Weather's checking in at just about 50, 52, 53 degrees. Winds coming in at about 5 to 10 miles an hour, going left to right. So it's going to pretty day so far as spring is in the air about now. And we are ready to go for the first pitch between today's doubleheader between the Reddies and the Crimson Storm. Crimson Storm wearing the pinstriped pants, crimson tops with the white numbers. The Reddies come in with gray jerseys with red numbers and red and white trim. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. First pitch on the way. Right down the middle, fastball, strike one. Jefferson Harris starts his day off with a strong pitch right down the middle. Comes the 0-1. Finds the corner, strike two. Batting right now for the Reddies, number 10, the shortstop Brandon Pollock. So Pollock finds himself down in the count early in this ball game. That one's just below the strike zone, down by his knees. Counts 1-2. Fourth pitch on the way. Takes a swing on it, and it went up and into his face. Got a piece of it, hit the ground, and then pops right up into his eyeball. He looks to be okay. He's going to walk it off for a second. So that's the head coach coming down there to talk to him. Head coach for the Reddies is Cody Hooten. Making sure that his leadoff batter, Brandon Pollock, is okay. Pollock's telling the trainer, the assistant coach, to go back to the dugout. He's fine. Steps back into the box, and we're ready to go again. Count stays the same after the foul ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. No outs so far. Got a piece of that one. That one also goes foul on the third base. So now Pollock's starting to battle. Gets to that one, and he's going to be caught out. Right there at the shortstop, number 23, Tanner Maskey's going to get the first out of the afternoon. So 1 out now for the Reddies. Next up for the Reddies is number 42, the center fielder, Jordan Harris. Harris is averaging about 35% batting average. Gets a piece. That one goes over Cooper's head to the shortstop, and he's going to get him. Maskey again. So just like that, 2 outs now on the top of the first for the Reddies. That ball just bounced over Jefferson Harris's head. couldn't quite get his glove in time. However, Maskey rushes into the center of the diamond. Gets the second out at first base. Next up, Taylor Langston trying to put down a bunt. It looks like it hit the catcher, number 25, Jake Vernon. This is actually number 22, Zach Gray. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Zach Gray is a senior, averaging 30%. He's trying to lay down a squeeze bunt. That one's outside. So I believe it should be 1-1. Gets a lot of that one. However, it's going to go foul off into right field. Got a whole lot of that pitch. Just sends a message to Austin Cooper not to come down that lane. That one's down low. 2-2 now. Gets a piece of that one, and he's almost got out. And no one can get to the base on time. Toy Lolo kind of went out there to try and get it. He almost got it, but dropped the baseball. No one covered first. So that's going to go down as a hit for the Reddies. Zach Gray gets a whole lot of it. Goes into the glove and out of Toy Lolo, and he'll be safe at first. So Taylor Langston going to check on. Step into the box and await the next pitch from Jefferson Harris. That one's too low. Ball one. Langston is a junior, batting just under 29%. And he's the steals coming, or is he going to get him in time? He is. Vernon to Shelby Reese. And he caught Zach Gray trying to steal, and that will end the top of the inning. Crimson Storm coming up in the bottom of the first. No runs, one hit, no error, or one error, and no one left on base for the Reddies. Keep it right here on SNUathletics.com. We'll be right back. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. It's now the bottom of the first inning. Garrett Perez, number 5, the center fielder for the Crimson Storm, is going to lead off SNU's lineup. He's going to be going up against number 14, Chris Pretty, on the mound. First pitch is just on the outside, ball 1. For Pretty going up against Perez. Second pitch on the outside as well. 2-0. Perez is batting 28%, 14 runs, 7 hits, 1 double, 1 triple. And that next pitch is going to go as a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. That one goes into the dirt and over the head of everybody. 3-1 is the count. I believe that Garrett Perez is going to swing on the next one if he gets a good look. And he got hit by that one. Got hit right on the arm. And he's going to trot on over to first base. So 1 batter up and 1 batter on base for the Crimson Storm as Cole Wagner is going to come up, the third baseman. Wagner's hitting 36% on 28 at-bats, 6 runs, 10 hits, 3 doubles, 5 RBIs for him, slugging at about 46%. First pitch going down the middle, strike 1. He gets a piece of that one. It's going off into center field, and looks like he's going to get to it. He does. That is Jordan Harris out there in center field. He's going to take out Wagner on a pop into center. And now coming up, number 19, Austin Cooper, the designated hitter. Really been the story of the offense for the Crimson Storm. He's hitting just above 56%, 58%. It's swing and a miss on the first pitch. Strike 1 now for Cooper. It's going to get a piece of that one. It's going to fly into the back, and Perez on the leadoff is going to go all the way to third base. Austin Cooper opens up his day with a hit. And Cole Lee's going to pop up. Once again, Cole Lee, a freshman out of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Southmore High School. He has a chance to give SNU the lead with Perez only 90 feet away from home plate. And looks like he's showing bunt to start out. Next pitch goes too low below the knees of Lee. One and one the count. And there's the steal. And he's going to be called safe, and that will allow Garrett Perez to come in for the first run of the afternoon. Crimson Storm take a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the first. So Cooper is going to also record a steal to his name. He's going to get a piece of it, and it's going to go right past the shortstop. He's going to hold up at third base as Cooper. So Crimson Storm opening up with a strong first inning. As Cole Lee is going to get a single. Now up for the Crimson Storm, number 23, the shortstop, Tanner Maskey. Maskey is a freshman out of Springfield, Illinois, hitting just under 29%. That one goes over the head, and now here comes a runner. He's not going to get him in time. Two Crimson Storm players now in scoring position as Lee is going to record a steal. One out only for the Crimson Storm so far in the bottom of the first. 1-0 over the Reddies. Swing and a miss. Strike. Backs off the mound is Pretty. Trying to reset with his catcher, Brenton Schwab. Gets a piece of that one, and that one's going to go foul as it goes way outside and out of play. 1-2 is the count now. That one goes outside. 2-2 the count now with one out. Gets a piece of that one. That one's also going to go foul. Just behind the Henderson State dugout. So the count remains the same as Maskey's battling with Pretty. And a swing and a miss is going to sink Maskey. 2 outs now for the Crimson Storm after this has been a strong showing in the bottom of the first. Now up for the Crimson Storm, number 4, second baseman Shelby Reese. The junior is averaging 35%. That one's way outside. Pretty better be careful not to load up the bases with Toy Lolo on deck. That one finds the inside corner, strike one. 1-1 now. And he has Austin Cooper and Cole Lee on second and third. Crimson Storm trying to build on this lead. That one's into the dirt. 2 balls, 1 strike. And that one's going to hit him, and that will load up the bases. So Shelby Reese takes one on the left arm. He'll go to first, Cole on second, Cooper on third. Bases loaded with Joe Toilolo coming up. And head coach Cody Hooten is going to want to take a time to talk to his pitcher. So we're going to let him do that. We'll be right back here on SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Joe Toilolo with the bases loaded and 2 outs with a chance to really pad on this SNU lead. That one just goes a little bit too far inside and low. Trying to find that inside corner. Going to get a piece of this one, and he's going to be tagged out at first by the first baseman. That's going to be Zach Gray, and that will end the inning. So 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 3 left on base for the Crimson Storm. We'll be right back to SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Crimson Storm take the lead in the bottom of the first inning, 1 run to nothing against Henderson State. Going to be Jefferson Harris on the mound as we start the second inning. Starts it off with a strike, fastball down the middle. It's going to be number 23, Taylor Langston, leading off the top of the second. That one's a little bit too inside. Harris got to be careful or else he's going to chip the batter. Langston's hitting 29%. 6 runs to his name on 6 hits. gets a piece of that one and fouled. Almost got into the bleachers, but just grazed the net. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss is going to sink Langston. So Jefferson Harris gets his first strikeout of the day. And it'll bring up number 5, Jackson Martin, the designated hitter for the Reddies. He's a sophomore. He's going to start out with a strike. Jackson Martin is a product out of Smackover, Arkansas. What a name for a town. Smackover. Next pitch is going to go low, so that'll even up the count at 1 apiece. Next pitch on the way. He's going to get a piece of it, fouls it off to the right. Next pitch coming up. He's going to get a piece of it and foul it off to the left this time. So the count's 1-2. 1 out for the Reddies thus far. Here comes the pitch and a swing and a miss. Going to sink him 2 strikeouts in a row now for Jefferson Harris. As he sinks. He seeks Jackson Martin, brings up Dylan McCain. McCain is a senior out of Royce City, Texas. That one goes low for ball 1. Here comes the second pitch. He's going to get it and off into the center field. That's going to be a hit. Thought about going to second base, but he's going to hold up at first. It's Dylan McCain. That's the first hit of the afternoon for the Reddies. That they were able to get on base via error on Toy Lolo in the top of the first. Brings up the third baseman, number 3, Joe Myers. He's a product out of Little Rock, Arkansas. He's going to get caught looking on that first pitch. Next pitch coming. He's going to run and get the steal, but not before a foul is recorded. So they're going to send him back to first base, no steal because of the foul. So McCain isn't going to get a whole lot of product out of that since it was a foul by Myers. The umpire, Terry Harrison, is going to give an explanation to the Henderson coach. So no balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Harrison trying to get his 3rd strikeout of the inning. Here comes the 0-2. Just goes low for ball 1, and feel like that was kind of a cautionary pitch by Harrison, as McCain is obviously looking to steal. There goes McCain. Ball 2. Ties up the count 2 apiece. And that one's right down the middle. However, it's going to be called ball. A little bit too high, I suppose. Full count coming up for Myers, coming up against Cooper. Or not, excuse me, not Cooper. Jefferson Harris. Cooper is the ace pitcher for this ball club. Here's the payoff pitch. Runners going, and it's going to be too low. Ball 4. Take your base. So after starting out with 2 strikeouts, Harris now has a man on first and second. It's going to be number 25, Brent Schwab. So Schwab is a senior out of Beaumont, Texas. He's going up against Harris. Harris is going to let him know what he's dealing with. There's a fastball right down the middle. That one's just going to be going a little bit too low. Ball 1. On deck is the bottom of the order, number 26, Nolan Ryan. That one's going low as well. 2 balls, 1 strike. Just as a reminder, the men's and women's basketball team for SNU is playing in Alva today. Take on Northwest Oklahoma State. The men clinched their first ever outright title the other day. Swing and a miss. Strike 2 coming up. So now the quest for the men is to finish out a undefeated conference season, and the women are still fighting for their lives to get into the tournament into Bartlesville, Oklahoma, in a few weeks. Next pitch is going to be a foul behind. Next pitch, too low and inside. Another 3-2 count. This time for Brenton Schwab. So Harris trying to not load up the bases. Gets a piece of it. This is going to be a hit, and it looks like this is going to tie up the ball game, and it will. The Reddies strike back in the second inning and tie up the ball game 1 run apiece. So a single into left field. Going to drive home the runner. Going to bring up the bottom of the order, number 26, Nolan Ryan. He almost went there. However, it's going to be way too high. Ball one. That one's too high as well. Ball two. And now Vernon's going to go talk with Harris. Make sure everything's okay. He is now behind in the count. 2 balls, no strikes. 2 outs, though. Trying to get out of this inning before more damage can be done. Crimson Storm opened up with a strong first inning. That one does find the strike zone. 2 balls, 1 strike. And this one's going to be clipped. It's going to go behind the bleachers. Evens up the count 2 apiece. Does get a piece of that one. That one's going to be another hit into right field, and that one will bring home another run. Too high. So Nolan Ryan brings on home another runner and gives Henderson the lead in the top of the second inning. Just looking off to my right, I can see the Henderson State bench doing some sort of skull chant reminiscent of the Minnesota Vikings. They're excited about that one. So back to the top of the order. Brandon Pollock is on deck for the Reddies. And he opened up with he's 0 for 1 so far with a fly out in the first inning. Right now, the Crimson Storm infield is out there talking to Harris. Make sure everything's A-OK. So Pollock's on deck. Still 2 outs against the Reddies. Men on second and third. Harris opens it up with a strike. Next pitch is into center field for another hit. Drives home another run. Thought about going 2. However, Ryan's going to be held up at third. And the Reddies record another run here in the second. Now brings up Jordan Harris. Jordan Harris is 0 for 1 as well with a ground out. The Reddies starting to flex their muscles offensively. And that one's going to find the bottom corner, strike one. So men on the corners now. He's going to get a piece of that one. It flies right to Jefferson Harris. Out number 3. Crimson Storm get out of the inning, but not before the Reddies build a 2-run lead. 3-1 right now. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors, 2 left on base for the Reddies. We'll be right back here on SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Crimson Storm trying to answer a 3-run inning from the Reddies here in the bottom of the second. Leading off the bottom of the second for the Crimson Storm's number 25, the catcher, Jake Vernon. Vernon is a product out of Elkhart, Indiana. Going up against Pretty as he throws a ball to open up the bottom of the second. This one is going to be fouled off to the right, off into the parking lot. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes the third pitch. Right down the middle, strike 2. And that one is way, way outside. Actually hits the catcher and pops over the net. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. As Vernon trying to lead the Crimson Storm to answer the Reddies. That one is outside as well. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Payoff pitch coming up. And a swing and a miss is going to sink Vernon. So Pretty opens up the bottom of the second with a strikeout. So it's the bottom of the order for the Crimson Storm, and Christian Dent is coming up. He's in 15%, and he's a junior out of Lake in the Hills, Illinois. It's going to open up with a strike. That one is going low. Ties up the count of 1 apiece. That one's going low as well. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Or, excuse me, 2 strikes. 2 balls, 1 strike. That one's going high as well, trying to get the curve in there. 3 balls, 1 strike now. That one's going right down the middle. Now a full count once again. And that one is outside, and Pretty can't believe it, as Dent's going to trot over to first on a walk and brings it to the top of the order in Garrett Perez. He was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat. He was able to get to first base. However, once he was on first base, he did steal one, and he has the only run to the Crimson Storm's name. That one's going inside strike 1. As it flies into the corner. Gets a piece of that one and goes right by the third baseman into left field for a hit. Garrett Perez having a great start to his afternoon. So the tying run is at first base. And it's Cole Wagner coming up. He's 0 for 1 today with a fly out. That one comes in for strike 1. Next pitch coming in. Too low, ball 1. Showed bunt for a second and then backed off. Gets a piece of that one, and that's flying out to left field. Is he going to get to it? He is not. It's going to drop before the wall. That's going to bring in a run. Crimson Storm answer as it brings number 22, Christian Dent, on home. So the Crimson Storm score 1 in the first 2 innings. They now find themselves just a run behind the Reddies. 3-2 in the Reddies' favor as it brings up Austin Cooper. One out against the Crimson Storm so far. Men on first and second. And that one is way too inside. Ball 1. This one is popped out into left field or right field. Ties with the count of 1 apiece. 44 pitches thrown so far by Pretty. And a balk is called on Pretty. So Cooper will not advance to first, but Perez and Wagner will go to second and third. Gets a piece of that one. It's going to get Cooper out at home, but not before the Crimson Storm tie it up. Perez now has 2 runs. So with 2 outs in the bottom of the second, the Crimson Storm have come back to tie it. Bringing up is number 2, Cole Lee. And he gets a rip on that one into center field. And it's going to be caught by Jordan Harris, and that will end the inning. So the Crimson Storm going blow for blow with the Reddies. We are now tied at 3 runs apiece as we go into the third inning. Welcome back to SNU Athletics. So the Crimson Storm now up for the Reddies in the top of the third. Number 22, Zach Gray. And he's going up against Harris, and it'll go 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to start out. Next pitch coming up at too low, almost into the dirt. 2 balls, 1 strike. Zach Gray is 0 for 1 so far. However, he did reach on an error. Next pitch coming up, and it is outside way too much. 3 balls, 1 strike. So 3 balls, 1 strike coming up against Gray. Next pitch is too low. Zach Gray will trot over to first. So number 23, Taylor Langston, is now going to come up for the Reddies. First pitch is a strike right down the middle. So Harris has thrown 48 pitches so far. Man on first. That one is too low. 1-1 now. Next one coming up. Takes a big swing and a miss. Strike 2. Taylor Langston is product out of El Dorado, Arkansas. Transfer from Barton Community College. Gets a piece of that one, and it goes to the third baseman. Is he going to get there in time? He will not. So Wagner was able to field it correctly, but just went too far over his head, and he was just too fast. He couldn't get there in time. So Gray goes to second. Langston goes to first. And the bunt goes down, and it's going to go foul. The Reddies are trying to advance the runners as best they can. Next one is a strike as well, so Harris on top of the order right now. No balls, 2 strikes, no outs. That one goes into the strike zone. Strike 3. 3 strikes, no balls. Back to the dugout, frustrated. 1 out now against the Reddies in the top of the third. And brings up Dylan McCain. McCain's 1 for 1 so far. That one goes and finds the corner. Strike 1. Comes the next pitch. Gets a piece of it, and it flies into left center. And they're able to hold up Gray at third. So the bases are now loaded for the Reddies. No outs against them, and it'll bring up number 3, the third baseman, Joe Myers. Myers has a walk so far today. So now Harris now in a jam. First pitch is outside, ball 1. Gets a piece of it, goes to second base, trying to turn a double play, and they are able to. And that's going to end the inning. So the Crimson Storm defense gets a big stop and stops the bleeding. 3 runs apiece. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 3 left on base for the Reddies as we go to the bottom of the third here on SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Leading off the bottom of the third for the Crimson Storm, number 23, the shortstop, Tanner Maskey. That one's going too low, ball 1. And that one's going into right field, but not before it goes foul. Got a big piece of it. Maskey's going to have to trot back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Way too high. He had a duck from it. It's going to go 2 balls, 1 strike. Next pitch coming up. Gets a piece of it, and it's going to fly off into the right field, and it's going to be dropped down. So Maskey's going to get a hit. He'll go to first. And here comes number 4, Shelby Reese. Shelby Reese got hit by a pitch earlier, so he's able to reach first. A swing and a miss. And almost got him there at first. Maskey was just a little bit off base. Wasn't expecting Pretty to turn around. But I think Maskey's got the message from here on out. He's going to get a piece of it. It's going to go right to the first baseman, and he's going to get tagged out, but not before Maskey's going to advance to second. So Reese gets tagged out, and here comes number 44, Joe Toilolo. He's 0 for 1 so far with the ground out, and that ended the inning whenever he came up. So he left 3 on base. Looking to redeem himself here. Gets a piece of it, fouls it right off into the net. Strike 1. Comes the 0-1 pitch. Too low and ties up the count, 1 apiece. He gets a piece of this one, and it pops up right under the shortstop. He's able to get it, no problem. So Toilolo pops out, and it brings up Jake Vernon, the catcher. Gets a piece of it. He's going to shoot it into the gap, into the center field, and that's going to bring another run home. So Maskey's going to take the lead for the Crimson Storm. 4-3 now. And brings up number 22, Christian Dent, in the bottom of the order. That was a big swing from Vernon. Takes the lead back for SNU. 4-3 is the score here at Cypress Athletic Complex, Phelan Field. That one goes too far inside. So Dent starts out with the 1-0 advantage. 2 outs, though, in this bottom of the third. And that one's going to go too far outside the other way. Going over there, checking on Vernon, make sure he stays honest. And gets a piece of this one. He's going to pop it up over there by the shortstop, and Pollock's going to bring it down. That'll end the inning, but not before the Crimson Storm take a 4-3 advantage here on SNUathletics.com. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left on base. We'll be right back. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Brent Schwab, the catcher, is going to open up the 4th inning for the Reddies. 4-3 in favor of the Crimson Storm is where we stand. First pitch is a little bit too low, ball 1. Just a little bit below the corner that Harris wanted to find. 2 balls, no strikes. That one finds the corner. His first strike goes up on the board for Harris. Schwab is 1 for 1 today, and he has an RBI to his name. Gets a piece of this one flying way out there. However, it's able to be tracked down by the left fielder, Christian Dent. We're going to the bottom of the order now for the Reddies. Number 26, Nolan Ryan on deck. He's also 1 for 1 and an RBI. That one finds the strike zone, strike one. That one is hit to the second baseman. He's able to field it. He's able to get it to Toilolo. No, he is not. Goes right by the first baseman. So Nolan Ryan able to get to. Apologies for any technical difficulties we may be experiencing today. That one goes too low. Ball one, and so Harris is going to try and minimize the damage and try to prevent any scoring from the Reddies. And there's a runner going, and he's going to be able to advance. He goes way too high. And Ryan's going to be able to advance all the way to third. And they were telling him to go home, but there was nobody there. And Ryan just couldn't see it in time, and so he'll stay at third. So Pollock goes to first. Ryan's at third. 1 out against the Reddies. 1 ball, no strikes, and it's Jordan Harris coming on deck. Harris is 0 for 2 so far, and a fly out and a ground out. Left 2 on base today. A swing and a miss. He's going to open up his third at bat. That one goes too low. Ball 2, he's going to go to second, and he's going to be able to reach as Pollock is able to get a steal. 1 ball, 1 strike. Men on second and third. As Pollock's on second, Nolan being on third. Nolan Ryan. So not a whole lot of pressure on Harris right now, since only 1 out. That one's going to find the strike zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That one goes into the dirt, ties up the count, the piece. So swing and a miss is going to sink Jordan Harris. Two outs now for the Reddies. Men on second and third, and brings up number 22, Zach Gray, who has had a walk and reached base on an error today, so not really conventional ways of getting on base, but he gets on base. So a dangerous situation here for Harris. The rest of the Crimson Storm team goes out to talk to him. We'll take a quick break here on SNUathletics.com. And it looks like we're going to get an intentional walk here. Don't want to risk Gray doing anything to give the Reddies some free runs. So they're going to intentionally walk Zach Gray. And that'll mean that Taylor Langston is going to have an opportunity to... Taylor Langston is on deck, and he'll have an opportunity to take the lead back for the Reddies. So Langston today is 1 for 2. He has a strikeout and a hit. So not the number one person you want batting with the bases loaded, but the one that they'll have to deal with, and in Robert Lee's opinion, a better option than Zach Gray. That one's going into the dirt for ball one. Harris has thrown 76 pitches today. And this one's going to be fouled off to the right. Strike one. So Ryan, Pollock, and Gray on third, second, and first, respectfully. Gets a piece of it, and it's going to go into center field, and he's going to miss it, going right by the center fielder. And that's going to bring in 3 runs for the Reddies, as they have jumped up on the Crimson Storm now, 6-4. And Garrett Perez couldn't believe. Hindsight is 20/20, so Harris is going to be done for the afternoon, as Perez couldn't quite make the grab in center field. So Harris is done, and that'll bring in Austin Cooper. We'll take a break here on SNUathletics.com and let him warm up. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. First pitch from Austin Cooper is hit off to the center field, and it is brought down by Garrett Perez, and that's going to end the inning. So one pitch is all it takes to end the inning, but not before Henderson State brings in 3 runs. 3 runs, 2 hits, 1 error, 1 left on base for the Reddies. As we are going to go to the bottom of the 4th inning in the Crimson Storm. We'll be right back here on SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Garrett Perez coming up for the Crimson Storm. It is the top of the order. Perez, Wagner, Cooper on deck as this one is popped up. And he's not going to be able to get to it as it just goes out of the right field. Foul and strike 1 for Garrett Perez. And that is how the bottom of the 4th will open. It is Chris Pretty pitching for the Rangers, or excuse me, the Reddies. He's thrown 58 pitches already today. 59. This will be number 60. And he finds the strike zone. Strike 2. And gets that one, and it just goes foul on the third base line, just barely. Count stays the same at 0-2. That one goes just high for ball 1. Got an update for you as soon as this pitch goes by. And it actually hits Perez, and that's the second time he's been hit by a pitch. And he'll go to first base. As I was saying, I got an update for you from Alva, Oklahoma, and Northwest Oklahoma State. That's where the basketball teams are playing today. And the girls opened up the first quarter with a 15-0 run. However, since then, the Rangers have battled their way back within 4. 6:35 left in the first half. The Crimson Storm women's basketball team on top, 22-18 over the Rangers. Wagner's going to pop that one straight up real high. And it's going to be corralled by the shortstop Pollock, who went over there into left field to get it. That's 1 out now for the Crimson Storm and brings up Austin Cooper with a man on first. Gets a piece of this one and hits it out into left field. It's able to be corralled by Taylor Langston. And that'll bring up number 2, Cole Lee. Cole Lee today is 1 for 2. He has a stolen base and a fly out and a hit, and he's left 1 on base today. So there's a player stealing, and he's caught out. So Perez gets caught trying to steal second, and that'll end the inning. Reddies on top of the Crimson Storm 6-4. We'll be right back to SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. It's going to be Dylan McCain leading off for the Reddies here in the top of the 5th. It's going to be Cooper pitching against him. That one goes a little bit too low. Ball 1. That one goes inside for ball 2. So 3 balls is thrown right in a row. That one goes into the dirt far away from the batter. 3 balls, no strikes. So 4 balls thrown in a row, and that'll make Dylan McCain trot over to first. Brings up number 3, Joe Myers. 0 for 1, has a walk and a ground out. That one goes 2 inside. And Vernon will go over and talk to Cooper. Make sure to get his mojo back. Makes him back off, and Cooper will readjust. Trying to catch McCain over there, where he slides back. 1 ball, no strikes. That one goes to inside as well. Ball 2. That one finally finds the strike zone for Cooper's first strike of his afternoon. One strike, 2 balls so far. No outs against the Reddies. He's again trying to check on McCain. And that one actually hit Myers, and that will send him over to first base. Men on first and second now, no outs. So Vernon's going to go talk to Austin Cooper and bring in the infield. And Coach Tim Cole is going to go talk to him as well. We'll take a short break and let that sort itself out. Be right back here on SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Brent Schwab trying to put down a bunt. So he has men on first and second, and Myers and Dylan McCain. That one goes over there by Schwab's head. 1 ball, 1 strike. And that one is fouled back into the SNU field house. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gets a piece of this one and pops it straight up. Looks like he's able to get under it, and he will. So Vernon able to get an out. First. Now coming up is Ryan for the Reddies. That one finds the strike zone, strike 1. So Ryan is 2 for 2 today. He also has an RBI to his name. comes the 0-1. Gets a piece of it, flies it into left field. And it looks like he's going to try and bring him home. And that is exactly what the Reddies will do, as McCain adds another run to the Reddy lead. 7-4 now is the count. Henderson State leading SNU. One out against the Reddies as Pollock is coming back to the top of the order. First pitch is a ball. Pollock is 1 for 3. Reached on an error. He has a stolen base and an RBI. That one finds the strike zone. Evens up the count at 1 apiece. It's 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. That one finds the strike zone as well, as Cooper's battling against Pollock. And Cooper records a strikeout, a much needed one, as he retires Pollock. Brings up number 42, the center fielder Jordan Harris. Harris is 0 for 3 today with a strikeout, a flyout, and a ground out. So every way that you can get out, it seems, Harris has done today. First pitch is a strike. Looks like Cooper is starting to find his rhythm. Next one finds a strike zone as well, and Cooper gets up into the count. 0-2 with 2 outs. Next one flies a little bit high. Ball 1. And gets a piece of this one. It goes over to the shortstop, able to get him out at second. And that will retire the top of the inning. Crimson Storm find themselves down 4-7 against the Reddies after that one. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on base for the Reddies. Just before we go to break, a quick update. Halftime in Alva between the girls' teams, between Southern Nazarene and Northwestern. We are now tied at 26 at a Crimson Storm trying to stay alive in the GAC. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Leading off the bottom of the fifth inning for the Crimson Storms, number 2, the right fielder Cole Lee. First pitch goes inside and low, ball 1. Cole Lee is 1 for 2 today. They fly out and a hit. He also has stolen a base, and he's left 1 on base. So everything is evened out for him. Gets a piece of this one, flies down to left field. And he almost lost it there, was Langston. Looks like he lost it in the sun, but then just kind of stuck his hand out and got it. So that'll Samaski is 1 for 2 today. Gets a big piece of this one. It's flying true over to right field, and it's corralled before it can get out of the park. That one was a good one. Maskey is the only starter for either team today with a home run, and that one looks really strong. However, it's corralled by Dylan McCain. So 2 outs really quickly for the Crimson Storm, brings up Shelby Reese. Shelby Reese fouls this one back behind the bleachers. 0-1, the count. This one flies high above the strike zone for ball 1. That one is a ball as well. Just goes outside. Comes the 2-1. Gets a piece of it, and it goes to the third base, and it is able to be lost by the first baseman. It looks like he had it for a second, but then it just kind of appeared behind him. So Reese is able to reach first. That's going to go down as a hit. And Joe Toilolo is coming up with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. We're over halfway done with this game 1 of a doubleheader. That one goes below the strike zone, ball 1. That one goes high for ball 2. Gets a piece of this one and flies it up really high. Should be able to be corralled by the shortstop, and it is. Brandon Pollock able to roll over there and end the inning. As we go to the top of the 6th, the Crimson Storm find themselves down 3 runs, 7 Henderson State, SNU 4. We'll be right back here on SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. And it's Zach Gray who's going to start off this inning with a hit. He's going to single into right field against Austin Cooper. And Zach Gray having himself a great day. So I'll bring up number 23, Taylor Langston. He's 2 for 3 right now. He has 3 RBIs. In fact, he is the one who got that big hit to give the Reddies a big 6-4 lead. So it's been added on. That one's going to go just below the strike zone for ball 1. And a swing and a miss for strike 1. Evens up the count. Swing and the miss on the third pitch brings the count up to 1-2. Austin Cooper trying to have a productive inning. Keep this lead at 3 runs and not one more. That one's fouled off behind. The count stays at 1-2. Goes over and checks over there at Zach Gray. Gets a piece of it over there to the shortstop and unable to get to it as Langston is able to get a single. And you can attribute that because Cole Wagner just couldn't quite get there in time. If Wagner gets that, he's able to turn possibly the second or the third base. However, men on first and second as we speak. And brings up Jackson Martin. Jackson Martin 0 for 3 today. Trying to lay down a bunt, fouls it off behind him. Here comes the 0-1. He's going to lay down the bunt. Goes off to the third base line. And Toyololo is able to get out, but not before runners advance. So Langston goes to second. Gray goes to third. 1 out now against the Reddies. Trying to build on this three-run lead as Dylan McCain is now coming up. Gets a piece of this one and singles off into left field, and he'll drive home 1 run. However, he's going to try for 2, and he's not going to get there. He's going to be taken out. So McCain gets the single. However, he is going to get thrown out trying to reach for 2, and he does bring in 1 run. So the score now stands at Henderson State 8 runs to. So an unwise decision by McCain is going to sit him down. Brings up Joe Myers. First pitch delivered by Austin Cooper is a strike. Second one is a no balls, 2 strikes. That one almost gets to him. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. That one goes down to the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That one goes too high. Ball 3. So 3 balls in a row. And a swing and a miss is going to end the top of the 6th inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Reddies do get a run. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, 1 left on base. We'll be right back to SNUathletics.com with the bottom of the 6th. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Jake Vernon leading off the bottom of the 6th inning. Crimson Storm now facing a 4-run deficit as Vernon fouls off the pitch from Pretty, who had stayed in there. Next pitch by Pretty is hit by Vernon. However, it goes fouled into the bullpen for SNU. Pretty has thrown 78 pitches today. Here's the 0-2. It's too far outside. 1-2 is now the count. That one's way too inside. Ties up the count 2 apiece. And a swing and a miss is going to sink Vernon. That'll bring up Christian Dent in the bottom of the order. Dent is 0 for 1. He has a walk and a fly out, and he's left one on base. Gets a piece of that one and fouls it off behind the field house. That one's way too far outside for 1-1. And that one is going to find the inside corner. Strike 2. That one's trying to find the outside corner, but way too far outside. Gets a piece of this one and hits it out towards right center, and it's corralled by Jordan Harris. Brings up the top of the order in Garrett Perez. He's had a pretty good afternoon so far. He's 1 for 1 with 2 hits by a pitch. Been hit twice, so I'm sure he's a little bit sore, but nevertheless he's been able to get on base. He has a stolen base as well. That one goes just low for ball 1. And that one's going to hit him again. That's 3 in a row. Or that's 2 in a row, but the third time he's been hit by a pitch today, and you could tell that one hurt a lot. He was really grunting from being hit in the back that time, so Garrett Perez going to try and run it off just a little bit. This is going to be Cole Wagner now. And he looks at the first strike. 2 outs for the Crimson Storm with 1 on base, and Garrett Perez. Cole Wagner, he's gone 1 for 3. He's got an RBI and 2 flyouts. And a swing and a miss is going to send him down in the count 0-2. Gets a piece of this one and fouls it off to the left before it can get to the third base line. Tries to check over there on Perez and keeps him honest. That one goes into the dirt. Ball 1. Here comes the 1-2. Too low. Ties up the count 2 apiece. Wagner and Crimson Storm trying to buy into this 4-run lead. As the Reddies have just steadily built it. And a swing and a miss is going to sink Wagner and end the inning. We go to the 7th here at Phelan Field. here on SNUathletics.com. Reddies lead 8-4. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Leading off for the Reddies in the top of the 7th is Brenton Schwab. Cooper's first pitch is going to go down into the bottom corner for ball 1. Next pitch coming up. Can't quite find the zone on that one either. 2 balls, no strikes. And a swing and a miss is going to put a strike on the board. 2 balls, 1 strike. That one finds the dirt as well. 3 balls, 1 strike. Maybe baiting Brenton Schwab, who's gone 1 for 3 today, into a swing in this kind of scenario. Does indeed swing, and he fouls it off into the SNU dugout. So the count stands full. Austin Cooper would love to start off this inning with an out. This one's popped up a little bit off into right field. And Cole Lee is able to track it down for the first out of the inning. Brings up Nolan Ryan, who's gone 3 for 3 today in a really productive afternoon. First pitch finds the strike. Next pitch coming up, gets a piece of it and hits it off into right center. And Perez able to bring it and throw it back in before he could think about turning 2. So Nolan Ryan continues his impressive showing this afternoon and gets on base once again. Brings up Brandon Pollock in the top of the order. First strike is on the corner. Brings up 0-1. This one is fouled off behind the bleachers, off into the parking lot. Pollock now behind in the count, 0-2. He's gone 1 for 4 today. It's a stolen base, and he reached on an error today. Goes to check on Nolan Ryan. Keeps him honest. Now I'll bring up Jordan Harris. He's gone 0 for 4 today. Nolan Ryan's had a really productive day. Harris can't say the same about him. Checks up for his 5th at-bat today. First pitch is a strike. That one goes inside for strike 2. And Harris couldn't believe that one. He thought that was a ball for days. That one goes way too high for ball 1. Gets a piece of that one, goes to third base, and then it's going to be an error on Cole Wagner, who couldn't corral it in time, and it loads up the bases with 1 out. Pollock on first, Nolan Ryan on second, Ryan's on third, Pollock is on second, and that'll send Harris to first. Does not go. And brings up Zach Gray, the last person that you want batting with the bases loaded. He's had a really good day so far, going 1 for 2 walks. He swings and misses on the first one. He's reached on an error. He's been able to find a way to get on base multiple times. Zone as well. 2-0 coming up. That one goes high for the first ball against Gray. And that one goes high as well. Can't quite find the corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That one's wide as well. Brings up a full count now. Gets a piece of this one and pops it up. Looks like this will bring in a run regardless. And it's dropped. And he can't quite get him at first at home plate. And it will bring in Nolan Ryan, who jumps it up to a 9-run game for the Reddies. 9-4 now, and Christian Dent had it on his glove, and he dropped it. So that doesn't do any favors. And brings up number 23, Taylor Langston. 3 for 4, 3 RBIs a day. That one too low. Can't find the strike zone. There's a 1-0 and a swing and a miss. It's going to even up the count. 4 errors today in this first game for the Crimson Storm. That one finds the strike zone for 1. Gets a piece of this one and fouls it straight back. That one might even reach the highway. Count stays the same at 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that's going to be a strikeout for Austin Cooper. He's able to find the corner. So that'll help a lot, as that's 2 outs now against the Reddies. And it brings up, I believe this is Dylan McCain. Or excuse me, this is Jackson Martin up for the Reddies. First pitch from Cooper is a strike. That one is way behind. It was a bad pitch by Cooper. Could have resulted in the 10th run coming in, as the Reddies have men on third and second. They have the bases loaded. However, it bounced off the stone wall here at Phelan Field and jumped right back to Vernon. And that one is fouled right back into the net. 1 ball, 2 strikes against Jackson Martin, designated hitter. And a swing and a miss, and that's going to go down as a strike. That's going to go down as a strikeout for Austin Cooper, and that is how the top of the 7th will end. And this is now the 7th inning stretch with the Crimson Storm down 9-4. We'll be right back with the bottom of the 7th inning here on SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Leading off the bottom of the 7th inning is number 19, Austin Cooper. He's the pitcher now. He's gone 1 for 3 so far. He's got an RBI, and he has a stolen base. First pitch goes outside for ball 1. Gets a piece of this one and off into right center, and it's able to be brought down by Dylan McCain. That's the first out for the Crimson Storm in the 7th. That'll bring up number 2, Cole Lee. So Cole Lee has gone 1 for 3 as well. 2 flyouts today, however, he does have a stolen base. Gets a rip on this one, and it's going to go down as a hit into right field. Cole Lee having himself a productive day. So Tanner Maskey comes up. He's gone 1 for 3 as well. He's got a strikeout, a flyout, and a hit to his name. That one goes low. Ball 1. Gets a piece of this one and fouls it off to the right. One and one's the count against Maskey. And a swing and a miss comes up for strike 2. Gets a piece of this one and flies it just over, and it's going to go fair. So big hit there for Maskey. They'll bring up Shelby Reese with a chance to bite into this Henderson lead a little bit. As we know from yesterday, SNU is more than capable of scoring clutch runs in the late innings. Scored all 8 of theirs in the final 2. They opened up really strong today, but since then have kind of faltered. Haven't scored a run in 3 innings. Gets a piece of this one. That one's going fair down the third base line. That'll send 2 back home, and Shelby Reese with a big hit as he doubles. And it sends in Lee and Maskey and makes it a 9-6 ball game. Crimson Storms still have one out, and Joe Toilolo's coming up, and now the infield's coming in to talk to Chris Pretty. And it looks like we'll get a pitching change here pretty darn quick. Waiting to see who it is. And it looks like there's going to be some substitutes as number 4 for the Reddies, Joseph Shepard. He's a junior outfielder from Kilgore, Texas. He'll go into the outfield as Pretty's day is done. And on the mound now, if I can see correctly, is number 11 for the Reddies, Dylan McCain. So McCain's going to go on the mound as the new pitcher for the Reddies, and we'll let him warm up here on SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Now batting for the Crimson Storm is number 44, Joe Toilolo. He's gone 0 for 3 today. He's got a fly out and a ground out. He's left 4 on base so far today. First pitch from McCain is going down to a strike. So Toilolo would love some offensive production today. And that one's going really low. And that's actually going to send Shelby Reese to third. A pitching violation. And a swing and a miss is going to send this count up to 1-2. Joe Toilolo trying to find some offensive production today. He's got a man 90 feet from scoring. Behind him is Jacob Vernon. That one's outside, ball 2. That one goes behind him, and that's a bad pitch, and Shelby Reese is going to score another run for the Crimson Storm. That ball got behind the pitcher, Brenton Schwab. So the Crimson Storm have cut it down to a 2-run lead, what was a 5-run lead. That one's low as well. It's a full count now for Joe Toilolo. However, no one's on base anymore. Seems to be some confusion between the coaches and the umpire. Toilolo got a piece of that, almost went fair, but goes foul before the first base. Gets a piece of that one, and that one is fair. Toilolo with a big rip. And it looks like he's going to try and dig for 2, and he does. Second base hit for Joe Toilolo, and he is loving that one. So Jake Vernon coming up, and now SNU with a big chance right here, only 1 out. Possibly cut this to a 1-run lead. That one goes high. Ball 1. And a swing and a miss evens up the count at 1 apiece. That one can't find the strike zone either. Goes outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Next pitch gets a rip on it and can't quite get past him. Goes past the first baseman, though. And that will send Toilolo to third. Actually, it'll send him home. Toilolo goes home on a free base after the ball goes out. And Jake Vernon goes to second. SNU cuts it to a 1. So SNU has come back roaring in this 7th inning as they've scored 3 runs. And hopefully a chance for more. As the tying run is coming up to the plate. And it looks like we're having some talks going on on the Henderson mound. And it appears that, at least on the pitching mound, Dylan McCain's night is done. Day is done on the mound. And it is going to be number 42, Jordan Harris, as the new pitcher for the Henderson State Reddies. We'll let him warm up for just a moment. He'll be right back here on SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Christian Dent with one out. I was mistaken before. The tying run is actually on second base. The leading run is at the plate. Crimson Storm find themselves down 9-8 in this first ball game of a doubleheader. And before we get a pitch, the new pitcher Jordan Harris wants to talk to his catcher Brenton Schwab. And wanted to lay down the bunt. Nothing doing. Finds the strike zone for strike one. This one he does get a piece of. It's flying out to left field, and Taylor Lang. So we're back at the top of the order. 2 outs now for the Crimson Storm, and brings up Garrett Perez. He's been hit by a pitch 3 times, so I imagine he is rather sore, but he has a chance to. If he gets a hit here, he can realistically tie up the ball game at 9 runs apiece. That one goes just high. That one finds the strike zone as he just adjusts for a little bit, goes right where he wants it. Gets a piece of that one and fouls it off to the right. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. Fouls that one behind as well. That one goes off outside for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs now, as the catcher and the shortstop are now going to go talk to their pitcher and calm him down for this really big set of pitches that's coming up. Gets a piece of it, and it's going to be thrown to first and taken out. So the Crimson Storm are unable to tie up the ball game. However, they do cut it to a 1-run deficit, 9-8. Henderson stayed on top as we go to the 8th inning. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Crimson Storm to find themselves down 8-9 here in the top of the 8th. Austin Cooper still on the mound. And first pitch against number 11, Dylan McCain, is a strike. Gets a piece of that one for a foul. Goes down the count 0-2. McCain has gone 3 for 3 today with an RBI and a walk as well. And gets a good piece of this one. However, it looks like it's going to be fouled as well. Count stays the same at 0-2. And just as an update for you, the Crimson Storm women's basketball team just lost to Northwestern today, 78-71. And sadly, that effectively eliminates them from postseason contention. Unfortunately for the women, so next pitch is a ball down low. The SNU men's team, however, is about to play a really tough Northwestern team in about 15 minutes' time. So I'll keep you updated on that one. That one goes inside and low for ball 2. Evens up the count at 2 apiece. That one's outside as well. Ball 3. 3 balls. Here comes the payoff pitch. And swing and a miss, and he sinks McCain. That's the first time he has not been on base today. Brings up number 3, Joe Myers. So that's a good start to this 8th inning for Austin Cooper. Tries to lay down a bunt, and it goes just foul before he can get to the base. Good bunt, all things considered, just couldn't stay on the right side of the line. So Myers comes back up. Count stands at 0-1. And a strike right down the middle. 0-2 now the count. That one bounces off the breastplate of Vernon. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And he's going to get him on the corner. Strike 3. Strikeout for Austin Cooper. And Joe Myers did not like that one. He has some words for the ref, or excuse me, words for the umpire. And it brings up Brenton Schwab, and now 2 outs and no one on base for the Crimson Storm. This has been their best. This has been the best inning for them since the 3rd inning where they gets a piece of this one and fouls it off to the right. No balls, 1 strike coming up. Trying to find the corner, just can't quite do it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gets a piece of that one and can't quite field it as the third baseman Wagner. So that's going to go down as a single for Brenton Schwab. Brings up number 26, Nolan Ryan, who's had a great day today. 4 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Nolan Ryan normally only hits about 10%, and today he's 1 hundo. And a swing and a miss is how he'll open up this at-bat. That one's way too high. Brings up 1 ball, 1 strike. That one's too far outside for second ball. And fouls that one off behind him. Evens up the count 2 apiece. And it looks like he went for it, but the first base umpire, Charles Calvert, says no. Very close, though. Crimson Storm's already get excited about getting out of this inning. And he's going to get him that time. Strikeout. Austin Cooper is fired up. Sinks Nolan Ryan, who's had a great day today. So that's a big momentum booster for the Crimson Storm as they go into the bottom of the 8th. Only down by 1 run. We'll be right back here on SNUathletics.com. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Cole Wagner is going to lead off the Crimson Storm in the bottom of the 8th, down by only a run. It's going to be Jordan Harris, who throws a strike at him to start out the inning. That one goes outside. Ball 1, ties up the count. Swing and a miss for that time. Wagner wanted all of it. Comes the 1-2. Swing and a miss, and Wagner is sunk. It brings up Austin Cooper. He's going 1 for 4 today with an RBI. He's also flown out, grounded out, but he has a stolen base. And gets a piece of that one, but fouls it off to the left. Swing and a miss for that one. And brings up an 0-2 situation with 1 out. Fouls that one off behind the bleachers. Count stays the same. And swing and a miss is how Austin Cooper will be retired. Brings up Cole Lee. He's gone 2 for 4 today. 2 times he has not been on base has been a flyout. And finds the corner for strike 1. Jordan Harris having a strong inning so far on the mound. Wagner pops that one up behind the bleachers. The 0-2 pitch. That one's outside for ball one. Then it goes inside towards Lee's ankle. Ball two. That one's outside for ball three. Full count coming up. And big pitch coming its way. And that one's outside as well. Cole Lee will trot over to first base. Tying run is now at first. And it brings up Tanner Maskey. 2 for 4 today. And one of those being a double. First pitch goes high. And a swing and a miss. Evens up the count. Umpire had to think about that one for a second, but he says it finds the corner. Strike two. Gets a good bit of that one. Drops it in front. That's a hit. Drops it in front of left field, who just kind of surrendered the hit. That was Langston. And brings up number 4, Shelby Reese, who had a really big hit at his last at bat. That one just on the outside of the strike zone, ball one. Gets a big hit on that one, and that one's going off to the right and just goes foul. And it was very close to the line, too. Almost dropped inside. Gets part of that one. Count goes up to 1-2. And pops that one up towards the second baseman, and it's corralled. Crimson Storm unable to get on the board in the 8th inning. We go to the 9th inning. Crimson Storm still down 9-8. Reddies up. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Crimson Storm find themselves down 8-9 in the top of the ninth inning. Brandon Pollock, Jordan Harris, and Zach Gray on deck for the Rangers. That one unable to find the strike zone, so the count goes to 2-0. This one is a pop-up as well. Flies out to left field. First strike on the board against Pollock, who's gone 2 for 5 today. An RBI to his name as a strikeout and a flyout. Gets that one. Bounces it over to the second baseman, Reese, who's able to give it to Toilolo for the first out. Tries to get a piece of that one is Jordan Harris. And that is a foul. He's gone 0 for 5 today. He has reached on an error. And a fielder's choice. Gets that one over to the shortstop and taken out at first. So Jordan Harris's day in terms of batting is in all likelihood over. Brings up Zach Gray, who's gone 1 for 3 today. That one bounced before hitting Zach Gray's foot, so that'll just be a ball. That one's able to find the strike zone for the first strike against Gray. 1-1. That one's able to find strike zone as well. 2 strikes in a row. 1-2 the count. Austin Cooper trying to get out of this inning and leave it up to the offense. And that one is popped up to the left. And it's going to drop outside of the ballpark. Count stays the same at 1-2. The 1-2 is on its way, and it's fouled off behind. Count stays the same. This one goes down to the dirt, ties up the count at 2 apiece. Is going to get a piece of that one over to the second baseman and off the glove. So Zach Gray able to reach first base again. And I'll bring up Taylor Langston, who's gone 3 for 5 today, 3 RBIs. He has struck out twice today. First pitch is able to find the zone. Strike 1. So Gray's able to reach second base on a pitch that got away from Vernon. That one goes high above the strike zone. 2-1 is the count. A swing and a miss is going to tie up the count once again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. So a big pitch coming up for Austin Cooper. So Vernon goes out to talk to his pitcher. Here comes the 2-2. Hit off into center field, and it's brought down by Garrett Perez. Crimson Storm now with an opportunity to, with 3 outs, get 1 run to extend this game, or get 2 runs in that 3 outs to end the game. We'll be right back to SNUathletics.com with the conclusion of the first game of today's doubleheader. Welcome back to SNUathletics.com. Here in the bottom of the 9th, Joe Toilolo, Jake Vernon, and Christian Dent, the bottom of the order for the Crimson Storm, as they are trying to score 1 run in three outs to extend this ball game. or better yet for the Crimson Storm, score 2 runs and win the game. Gets a rip on that one. Joy Tololo is going to be grounded out first as Zach Gray able to get that one with relative ease. So Vernon's coming up. He's gone 1 for 4 today with an RBI. He's also reached on an error. That one goes low, ball 1. Gets a piece of that one, and it pops into right field for a hit for Jake Vernon. So Jake Vernon with the tying run on first base. And now we have a pinch hitter, Emilio Escobedo, number 7 for the Crimson Storm, going up against the new pitcher Taylor Langston. A swing and a miss to start off Escobedo's run. That one's going just outside of the strike zone. Ball 2. Excuse me, I was right the first time. Ball 1. That one goes into the dirt for ball 2. So 2-1 coming up for Emilio Escobedo. That one's outside, ball 3. Gets a piece of that one, and it pops off to the left, to the right, and it goes foul. 3 balls, 2 strikes, full count with 1 out. Coming up for Emilio Escobedo. Big pitch coming up for the Crimson Storm. Pops that one up into shallow right, and it's brought down by Nolan Ryan, the second baseman. Garrett Perez, now the final hope for the Crimson Storm. 2 outs remaining. And it's Taylor Langston versus Garrett Perez with a man on first, the tying run on first. And that actually hit Garrett Perez. So Garrett Perez going to first base. That is the 4th time today he's been hit by a pitch. So it'll bring up Cole Wagner, who's gone 1 for 5 today. So the tying run is in scoring position. 2 outs for the Crimson Storm. one goes low for ball 1. Next pitch is going to be a strike. So 1-1 is the count. That one goes low for ball 2. And a swing and a miss brings up strike 2. 1 strike away for the Reddies. They can escape this first game and win the series. This one's popped up high. It'll stay in play, it looks like, and the Reddies will win game 1 of today's doubleheader. The Crimson Storm had a player 180 feet away. However, the Crimson Storm are going to fall in this first game 9-8. So that is how the first game will end. Take a 30-minute break. And we'll have game 2 coming up on SNUathletics.com.